Well, I can't think of many finer places to spend New Year's weekend than at the seaside. So we've come up to, currently, Talica Beach. And excuse the movement in the camera. It's ridiculously windy, but it is very mild. So we were hoping to get some nice shots of the lighthouse. A sunrise isn't happening. I'm not quite sure if this will pick it up. Yeah, we have some lovely blanket grey sky up there. It did threaten a little bit earlier on. There was some beautiful blue sky, but it sort of got swept away with the wind. The tide is currently fully in, and I'm struggling to see anything that makes a composition. I think we need more foreground, maybe some reflections, some rock pools, that type of thing. But I'll just take you up for a look round. Now, you're not on the gimbal, so it's going to be a bit jiggly. And I'm trying not to walk over a very fresh patch of sand in case I decide to get the camera out and shoot. So let's have a spin around here. There is the lighthouse. Now, the strange thing about it is it's on the squiff. Not by much, but it's definitely listing to the right slightly. She's doing my OCD the world of no good. So the intention had been a long exposure, but as you can now see, there's a bank of cloud with a bright band and then another bank of cloud, and that's going to completely ruin the whole effect. I was thinking moody black and white, because the sea is a yucky colour. It's brown. It doesn't look very tempting at all. And there is a reasonable amount of detail in the sky, but the light is completely flat. So I'm hoping that we're going to get back up here a little bit later during the day for when the tide is out, when you have the rock pools showing and the pools of water showing. That to me would be far more appealing. So we have a couple of other places in mind, and we're camping. God help me. We're on a campsite, we're not wild camping. Oh, and we've just been joined by the most huge dogs. That's like small horses. We retired to McDonald's to wait for a bit of decent sky to come in, which, yeah, we've got a little bit of decent sky up there. We've never really got the light, which is frustrating, but it's the first time here, so we're not too disheartened. The water has now, as you can see, receded. It went out damn quick. We were only away for 25 minutes. So I must confess I'm struggling a little bit for a decent composition, but I'm set up at the moment with the 17-55 lens. We have a 0.6 soft edge and the 10 stop and the polariser. And I'm shooting out, just turn you around a second, you can see these rocks here and the reflection of the lighthouse. You can see there, it's on the squiff, so annoying. These rocks sort of make a little bit of a lead-in line, and then you have the reflection, and I'm going for the long exposure because the clouds are fair whipping across, which is fabulous. But there's not been the light that we'd hoped for, but hey, the joys of landscape photography. And so far I've managed to drop my camera in sand twice, which is really frustrating. Luckily I didn't get any sand on the lens, it's only on the rear screen. So I'm doing a long exposure, say I think I'm at f13, ISO 200, which I might have to drop down a little bit. And I was getting I did one at 58 seconds and it wasn't quite light enough. So I'm now trying one at about a minute and a half, and that should come in at around about right. The sky is changing the whole time, and there is some beautiful detail up there. But let me just have a look at that. That's a bit better, and I'd love to show you, but as you know, it doesn't work. This thing won't focus. I am waiting for delivery of a new vlogging camera, which should make life somewhat easier, and hopefully I can show you stuff on the back of the screen. So, yes, not a bad morning. It's not raining. It's ridiculously mild. Can't get the camera, that's better, there's a little bit more light coming through there. Not what we'd hoped for, but beggars can't be choosers, and it's better than we had suspected it might be. So we're going to head off from here and just go and have a troll around, I think, see what else we can find on this stretch of coastline, and then find somewhere for sunset, which I think we were aiming for Perch Rock, I believe. But as you know from watching these previously, I say we're going somewhere, we never get there. So you'll see me when you see me. Catch you in a while, guys. Bye for now. Welcome to Penmon. Penmon Lighthouse. Not somewhere I've been before. The bad news is the sky and sunset just isn't happening, but it's a beautiful place. It's a lovely coffee house that does the most divine hot chocolates. You must visit. The tide is kind of on its way in. High tide is 8:30. It's now around about 3:30, 4:45. So we're heading towards sunset. And if I just kind of spin you around a little bit, you can see we have got absolutely nothing in the way of colour. So I'm thinking mono, high contrast. I'm currently doing a long exposure in a vertical composition. And let's just have a go at this. There we go. The rocks leading out here, 5th time lucky. So the rocks that you see down here were all visible when I came down here. So the tide is coming in quite nicely, and I'm going for a mega long exposure in a vertical composition, using the lighthouse and the little island that you can just see over there. It's probably the most common done to death exposure, or composition rather, but I kind of quite like it, and given that we have no light to speak of, it's probably about the only thing I could do, and it is going to go to mono. So I have got the 10 stop on. I haven't bothered with the polariser. I've got a 0.6 soft Grad. We're at f11 and ISO 100, just for a change. And my last exposure was 297 seconds, so I'm going for slightly longer this time. This place with blue skies and white fluffy clouds or a stonking sunset would be phenomenal. But we're making do. We've got no rain. It's not too windy. So we're making the best of the situation. So yeah, Penmon's rather nice. We've passed this place, or we've seen it. Over the other side, over in the distance, just the other side of Andy, is the road that you drive along, which is the coast road, taking you back towards, or back through Colwyn Bay. And you can see this from over there, and I've passed so many times. And today we finally decided, sod it, we're going to go here, do sunset, and then we're going to go to the campsite. So, I will leave you with that view, and we'll see what the photos turned out like. I shall catch up with you in a wee while. Bye for now.